Today we want to build an extension cord. Let's see what I have today. So the equipment that I have, this is a 6-foot roll of 1.5 twin and earth. 2.5 is a minimum you connect to plugs when you're wiring the house, but this is an extension cord. So I'm going to be using 1.5 millimeter square twin and earth. Okay? See, twin and earth cable. I have the duplex receptacle, the plug. I have the nail plug as well. I haven't removed this from the plastic as yet. Brand new, 3-pin. Right. I have the live, the earth, and the neutral pin there. I have a metal handy box and a metal handy box cover. The screw taped on. Have the bonding nipple. This will hold secure the cable in place. Alright. We're going to need to strip the wire, the cable. Now, so I want to do first of all, I'm going to place, I have a utility knife here. I'm going to place the cable on top of the desk and to make a slit in the middle of the cable. Being careful not to rub the insulation, right? And then I'll pull the insulation to open it some more. So let's do that. Alright, I've made a slit on the cable. That's the center of the cable. You can see it opening up here. Alright. And then I can use pliers and pull the earth wire, the raw earth wire, to open up the insulation of the cable. Want it a bit longer, I'm going to put this end into the plug. Alright, there you go. You have the brown, which is the live, and the blue, the neutral. The bare wire in the center is the earth. Now I'm going to strip about 3/4 inches of the single wire. I have here a wire stripper. Alright. What I do is place it in the blade, press it down a bit and turn, and then pull the insulation off. Now, if you don't have that, you could also use the blade. It's best to place it on a surface and just press it into the wire, roll it, not to draw it now, just roll it around just to make a slit in the wire. Alright. Then place that into the side cutting part of the pliers and pull. The blade is a bit dull, so it won't pull off as easily as the other one. Alright, so I've stripped the live and the neutral. Now you have the knockout boxes on the handy box. I'm going to just use my finger and press this one in. Alright. I swing it back and forth, and under fatigue the metal gives way and it's out. I'm going to place the cable through this hole here. Alright. Now for the bonding nipple, I'm going to screw off this end. I'm going to lift the space up. You have to remember to put in the bonding nipple before you secure the plug, or else you're going to have to pull it again. So run this through the bonding nipple. Alright, to the hole. Let me put the ring down here. The cable back through the hole. The cable through the bonding nipple. I'll turn the screws upwards so that I can screw them in later on and secure the cable. I'm going to screw the ring around the end. It's best to leave the ring outside so you can access it. Since you're going to be flexing and carrying the extension cord, the ring itself will become loose after a while, so you want to be able to easily access it and tighten it again. Alright? Now, the duplex plug receptacle. Remember now that the narrow slot is the live, and that's where you also have the copper colored screws. The silver colored screw, where you have the wide slot, that is a neutral. And then of course you have the earth wire, which you will plug with. You will earth at the green screw. Now, remember, the brown is live. I'm going to connect this to the live side. I'm going to wrap the strands. There are 7 strands, and I'm going to wrap them to make them more secure and not pull out while I'm screwing them down. I'll use my screwdriver to bend the stranded copper. Place them under the screw and secure them down with the screwdriver. Make sure that you wrap the copper under the screw in a clockwise direction. Alright? And of course, when you're going to tighten the screw, you turn it in a clockwise direction, so it should help to tighten the wire under it as you turn it. So I secure the copper wire under the screw, the wire from the brown or live side. Then of course there is the neutral side, and then also wrap the strands together so so that it's not so easy for them to pull apart. All right. Now, I use a screwdriver, just wrap them, wrap the copper so that I can place it easily under this screw. Let me secure the end properly under the screw. And I tighten this. Good. Next will be the earth wire or grounds wire. In addition to this green ground screw on the plug, there's this ground screw at the bottom of the receptacle because it's metal. All right. Not the receptacle, the handy box, because it's metal. So what you would need to do is loosen this ground screw. Then you secure part of the ground wire under it, right? You wrap it under the screw. We're going to make one turn. And turn of it under the screw. All right. And then of course, the other end, we're going to wrap under the green ground screw on the plug. It's not so easy to show it while I'm doing it. All right. Okay. So that you ground both the handy box and the plug, the receptacle, and ensure that you tighten the screws and tighten the ground wire under the screws. Going to be tightening the ground screw now. You can see the ground wire is wrapped under it. All right. Now, once I have the cable at the position where I want it, I can use a screwdriver and secure the cable with the two screws that are on the bonding nipple. There are two of them on either side of the bonding nipple. I'm going to secure them. As I screw them down, they will squeeze the cable in place, hold it in place and securely. Let me just wrap these. And to make sure it's well secured. All right. So the cable is secured by the bonding nipple, and ensure that the ring remains tight. All right. So then I'm going to secure the plug itself onto the handy box with these screws at the end. All right. The part of the insulation that I'm not using, would cut it and throw it away. All right. So if you're building one like this, you could just cut away the insulation and throw it away. Now remember the two screws at the end of the plug. These two screws, let me remove this. I'll show them to you. These two screws, they will be sticking out a bit because you didn't tighten them, but you want to secure them so that they won't stick out as much when the plug is new. They're not screwed in and they're all sticking out. You want to ensure that they don't stick out, especially with the live screw. You don't want it to be sticking out, all right, too much. All right, so I'll just start turning with my finger, and then after that I'll screw down the plug with a screwdriver. I'm just holding it like this to make a faster turn. Then I use the handle. Remember, these screwdrivers are not electrician screwdrivers, right? The electrician screwdriver would be covered, insulated, with only a centimeter or less, or maybe a centimeter or less sticking out, of metal sticking out, but almost the entire blade would have been insulated, right? So now the plug, the male part of the plug. Here you have 3 screws at the end. I'm going to need star point screwdriver to remove them so that I can strip and then stick the other end of the cable in here. Now these blades are of equal thickness. To make sure as to which one is live, which is neutral, just stick in the plug, right? Then carefully note the one that goes into the narrow slot. That will be the live. And the one in the wide slot will, of course, be the neutral. So, these 3 screws, I'm going to pull them out, and you should carefully note the side at which these are located. All right. Now, As for the earth terminal, I can see a little slot here, right at the top of the plug. I know that when I'm going to put it back, I should line up the earth terminal with this slot. It's not easy to see for you to see, but when I turn this at a certain angle, I can see it. All right? I can see the slot that the earth terminal will line up with. All right. I'm going to loosen these screws. That's the first one out. Second one out. And the third, and of course the plug comes out with it. All right. Now, here inside the plug, you have the green ground screw connected to the ground. All right. I have these two other screws. You should ensure you remember which one of them is live, which one is neutral. All right. So I know that when I turn the plug so that the earth terminal is down, the live is to the right. I have to try to remember that. When the earth terminal turns up, the live is on the left. So I strip the other end of the wire as I did before for the plug itself, but this stripping will be shorter. All right, so having stripped this end, I don't want the extra insulation taking up too much space. There isn't as much space in the plug as in the handy box, so I'm going to cut away this part of the insulation. Remember, you must never turn the blade so that it faces you or anybody else or any part of it. It must face away so that if it slips, there is nothing in the way. I don't want the way to get cut. All right. So I'm going to strip the live and the neutral about 3/4 inches again. Now, if you're using a wire stripper like this, right? Once you turn and it cuts into the insulation, don't hold it like this to remove the insulation. Too much pressure would be on it. You can just rest your finger behind here. It's less pressure on the tool, less damage to the tool. So we're having stripped the other end. Just wrap the strands around each other. All right. All right. Now, remember, before you connect it to the screws, you must place this over. If you don't remember, you'd have to disconnect it from the screws again. All right. Let's place this over the cable. All right. So here we have it. then you're going to connect the wires to the respective screws. Live to live, the brown to the live screw, blue to the neutral, grounds to the ground screw. So you're going to lift each screw, right?